dun, 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 dun. Give me a minute. Oh, fuck! Excuse me. My mic even being picked up. Yeah, it is. I just need to turn my game volume down, and then it'll sound maybe a little bit better. Okay, I think I can play now. Music. Fuck! Excuse me. I'm sick. As always. Fuck. I don't know which save is which. Damn it, I gotta turn my phone down. Which fucking save is the right one? Okay, better idea. I will delete the top 3. Because I know they're nothing. Well, they're nothing I want to go back to, that is. I think it's the June one. Yeah. Definitely. Is it? Well, time to find out. Fuck! What's wrong with this? What happened? Okay, I don't know what happened to that. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix this. Give me a minute. I gotta I don't know. Check my game files. Fuck. Okay. What if I just... I don't know what could be wrong with it. I did try get a Snoot game mod to run on it, but no luck. Because it just didn't want to work for me. Because why would anything want to work for me? It sucks. Oh, excuse me. Oh boy, it would be really bad if my fucking... yeah, I'm not gonna get off. Steam, what is wrong? Why are you so slow? Man, come on, man. Excuse me. Okay. No, hold on. There's been some new mods on the workshop though. It's kind of cool. ex-Olivia fanfic. Wonder how that would work out. I think they'd get on pretty good. You know, both of them just being chronically online fucking weirdos. In a good way, of course. Then again, so am I. So, you know, can't really protect myself there. Okay. Will you work this time? Yeah, okay, it worked this time. I don't know what I did, but it's, working. Where did I even fucking, I don't know where I ended it last time, because the last time I played this was, 4 months ago, and I said I'd come back to it the next day, but did I? No. Life got in the way, and I just got lazy. Like, my last video was 2 months ago. I suck. I really do. I should do this more often because it's therapeutic for me, and it keeps me out of my own head. Anyways, I'm just gonna check where I ended off the last time. I didn't even bother make a bloody new thumbnail either. I'll do it next time. Okay, where did I end it? I ended it when Ben showed up and he kind of just ran off. And after Mia was being a bitch. Okay, I know what I'm doing now. Crisis over. Alright. Oh yeah, we're going to meet Liz. Where's the music? Options. Okay, maybe you just have to wait. The computer lab is in an offshoot room from our library. As for the library itself, aside from an unexpected emphasis on anatomy drawings, guides and the like, it's pretty standard. Not to brag, but the school I was at for my freshman and junior years had a library with 2 floors. Probably should have read a thing or two with all those resources. I'm getting off topic. The computer lab is the focus. The calm tranquility of the library is overtaken by the organized sterility of the lab. 40 standardized sets of computers and monitors line the walls, forming a what the fuck is that word? Panopticon, I think, around the desk, reserved for the teacher in the middle. I remember them being organized differently in elementary school, but for a few years now I've just been seeing this information. Sounds to me like someone got caught one too many times working on more risque art pieces. The monitors are all turned on, but one's logged in. Weird. There's nobody here. Damien and Ben said Liz would be here though. Maybe she's in the bathroom. I'm not one to pry and snoop around, but I'm really pressed for time here. On screen I see open PDFs and documents. They look finance related and filled with abbreviations and jargon I don't understand. Maybe I can figure out how to create my own account on my own. There she is. What are you doing? Ah! Haunted high school. I didn't mean to scare you. Oh, thank Christ. It's just a dino girl with an extremely long neck and not a spectre. No, really, what were you doing to the fiscal report I was working on? I didn't do anything. I've been working on that all day. Why did you touch it? I didn't, I only minimized it, I swear. Right, I'm here for a reason. Are you Liz? The Brachiosaurus. Oh, Brachiosaurus? What the fuck is wrong with me? Brachiosaurus furiously reopens all her windows and for a while types out some information before acknowledging me again. Excuse me? Damien told me about you. I met Damien. He said I'd have to wait for you to sort out my login stuff. Damien mentioned me? Oh, you're the guy that's got smeared into the ground in gym class yesterday. Yeah. Yeah, I'm Liz. Whoa. Ingo. But yeah, I'm new here, so I need an account. Not a problem at all. Sorry if you can see my mouse, I kinda just move it around a lot. Cause I'm just a fucking freak. Liz sits down and cracks her knuckles as she starts typing away at the keyboard. What the fuck? Hold on. Dog is freaking out over something. Okay. Sorry. Post. The dog always freaks out. Liz sits down and cracks her knuckles as she starts typing away at the keyboard. Alright, I'll see if I can get that done for you. In a flourishing display of spreadsheet software experience, Liz navigates and organizes several documents in seconds. I've always had the general idea that there were a lot of shortcuts and commands, but yeesh. She's resourceful. So, you're an artist too? Since you want to enter the contest so bad. Oh yeah, I'm a photographer. Yeah? How are you liking it here so far? Well, students here usually jump to asking about what they're graduating here for, so they can more easily form connections and collaborate. So excuse me if I might be going too fast. Not at all. I'm a bit more at ease now that you just explained it. It's pretty good, although I feel bad about missing most of the first day. It's not a big deal. Guess not. Although, truth be told, I see those paintings framed in the hall by the principal's office, and it does put a bit of rain on my parade. Oh, those, yeah, I get what you mean. I think it's like that by design, honestly. Something about breaking the students' egos. Then you end up wanting to improve like crazy so you can reach your goals. At least, that's what happened to me. I'm planning on going to university and getting degrees in design and business. And that's just a start. I'm also starting to become an apprentice for art dealings, getting the right paintings for the right people. My tutors said I'm impressive enough I should start enrolling for any and all of the important universities around the country. Wow. I mean, I'm also pretty well off myself, but it never occurred to me that I should be this ambitious. Thank you. What about you? I'm gonna be real. So, you know. I don't know, but it's going to be big. Well, it's something. At least more than a lot of people here. What do you mean? Like, half the school may as well just be in a daycare. Sorry if that sounds rude. We've got these school programs and even industry professionals coming in for lectures. But it's like some people are here just because their friends happen to be here too. No big plans, it seems. Yeah. Wait, you mean like Damien? Yeah, I shouldn't have mentioned it. He's cool though, don't get me wrong. I hope me talking about him to you like this doesn't come across as douchey. He's definitely the friendly type. He even partnered with me in gym class and dragged me along to sit with him at lunch. Is that so? Yeah, he was really excited about it too. And then he introduced me to Olivia as well and tried to break the ice so she can come out of her shell. Oh fuck! That was Liz talking. Damn it. I gotta fucking... I hate voices. Yeah, how'd you know? Oh boy, I'm sorry about that, Inko. What? Is Damien messing with me? No, Damien is great. He's just maybe a little too eager. If he considers you a friend to him, he'll want you to be our friend too. Specifically, he'll want you to be Olivia's friend. What's wrong with that? Nothing at all. But you've seen Olivia. You can definitely tell she's a bit unresponsive. Doesn't really like to talk to anyone, not even Damien. So you can definitely try to be her friend, but just know that she'll most likely ignore you. You don't like Olivia? What? No. I do. She's fine, I guess. I sit with her during lunch after all. And I'm sure you'll get along with this just fine. And hey, I'd love to see Olivia make a friend. Just don't get too invested trying to get her to warm up to you. Damien will always be down to hang out though, and I certainly don't mind. It's just that him and Olivia are nigh inseparable. So if the deal turns you off, then it's not your fault either. There's history to that warning. Inseparable. So they're like girlfriend and boyfriend? No. They just live in the same house. Oh. Damien's also just incredibly patient and outgoing. I envy him. But yeah, he would like nothing more than everyone getting along with, or like best buddies. Unless you're like Damien and you can be pleasant to a brick wall forever. Your time is probably better spent elsewhere. So, how serious are you about your ambitions? Pretty serious, I think. Liz nods. Something to keep in mind then. It's a struggle, but like Damien says, we gotta keep trying, right? Liz gives me a half-hearted smile, but she still seems sad about something. Anyways, sorry for talking your ear off about private matters. You still want to get that submission turned in? She stops for a second on one tab to scan for something. And got it. She motions her head to the back of the room at the printers as it hums to life. I get open, get the paper. Both my username and password here are strings of numbers. I take a snapshot of the username and password, so I won't have to remember it. Thanks. Anyways, you should hurry. Lunch is ending soon. Right. According to the time display on the monitors, I've only got 10 minutes left. I followed the instructions on the printout. Finally, getting to the student hub of the site. And thankfully the art contest is displayed prominently across it. Clicking through a couple of links, I finally find the submission instructions. It's simply a matter of putting my entry details as the name of the file and dragging it into the school's shared drive. Plugging in my portable portfolio hard drive, I create a copy of my magnum opus. Then a quick rename, drag it here, and just in time. I take the extra minute to safely undock my hard drive and then log off the computer. Looking back to Liz, she's completely wrapped up in her work. Don't think interrupting her is a good idea, especially after what she said about Olivia in our own time. I opt to simply leave her be, heading out the room and to the library for class. After all, it's time for the class I've been looking forward to the most. The day is certainly turning out better than yesterday. Hope I didn't just jinx it for myself. I'm gonna save up here now. My nerve has been acting up when I first stepped into the classroom. It made it even worse when I was hit with another flashbang. After my 20 other classmates had finished laughing, Mr. Iadican made a show of waving a freshly taken photo from a fancy fold-up camera from the 70s. I dubbed this portrait... I can't fucking read French. What kind of fucking voice did I give Ben? I have to remember all this shit. Oh, me 4 months ago. Why did you stop, jackass? Excuse me. Give me a sec. I don't know what kind of fucking voice I gave him, but it's been 4 months. I can just make up new shit. After he'd thumbtacked the shot on the corkboard filled with poor snapshots of everyone else, Mr. Iadican reassured me and sat me right next to Ben. He managed to sum up his syllabus in under a minute, instead taking the majority of the time to go over our first lesson and assignment on the exposure and lighting, or on exposure and lighting. Give me a sec, I got a really itchy ear. I gotta get a haircut. With each new light fixture he brought out and explained, I felt my mind swirl faster with new possibilities of old shots. If only I had that then, or if I could have used that there. Now then, you'll have a small taste of it. Or, you've had a small taste of it. We'll start on your first photography assignment. Proper lighting. I'm salivating at the thought. Mr. Iadican had just finished his first lesson, where he'd handed out all sorts of equipment to look over. It's the first time I've handled something, or handled some of these things, like the enormous box light that was still taking up the entirety of my desk. Remember though, that these are just tools meant to enhance the photo. You can highlight a turd all you want. It's still a turd. The crude language guarantees a chortle from the few half-listening students. The teacher looks over to the clock and hums. Well, I see that we managed to finish the lecture a tad bit early. Why don't you all take these last 10 minutes to compare notes? Maybe even consider doing the assignment as a collab piece with a classmate. The room is quick to fill with the sound of chatter. I wonder if Hey! I turn to Ben and see his eager grin. Do you want to do a joint piece? Since you don't know any good spots in the school after all. I pull out the assignment sheet from beneath the lightweight light on my desk and give it a quick scan again. Present a set of photos demonstrating your understanding of proper lighting. You are allowed to borrow one lighting tool and must take the shot on school premises. And I swear I've handed out this assignment for years now. If one more student just takes a picture of the hallway outside the classroom, I'm going to personally throw them over the railing. Be original, please. I've got the perfect place for it. If we work together, we can even use 2 items. The offer is too tempting. Sure. I hold out my hand and Ben takes and shakes it, sealing the pact. My face is feeling weird from all the smiling today. But in truth, I've been enjoying Mr. Iadigan's class so much that I couldn't stop. It feels like I have the entire world to gain from Mr. Iadigan's lesson. And the entire world to explore, seeing as ever since the move I hadn't had the time to actually explore Val Caldera Bluffs. Sure, on occasion I go out on my own to parks and stuff, but who doesn't? Besides, I'd be a pretty lame photographer if I didn't go out and find stuff to photograph. And you know what? I've been meaning to do a little looking around here. So to everyone else, this assignment makes them have to explore the school. But I get to. Fuck. Pretty sweet deal if I do say so myself. The hall outside the classroom is only one major photo op. Between that and the murals outside, I'm certainly to find something cool. No, the murals won't work on their own. Since it was my first thought to use them, that means it's likely someone else's first thought. I need to think outside the box a bit. Think of some way to use the school's architecture to my advantage, in a way that... Inko! My thoughts are disrupted by a worried-looking Ben. Maybe you should see a doctor, man. Head injuries are no laughing matter. I'm fine. What were you saying? I was asking how you were doing. You know, with school and classes now. Oh, right. Doing good. Really good, actually. I'm in a class that I'm 100% enjoying and starting to make some genuine friendships. Compared to the disaster of yesterday, today has been astoundingly positive. That's good to hear. I'm just gonna give him some fucking sort of disgusting British accent. Yeah, I've even got some friends now. Great. Oh, and what about your art submission? Was Liz able to help? I don't know how to do accents, lads. It's so over for me. Somebody's gonna clip me out of context and call me something. Then I won't be able to take it. There's something nibbling at the corner of my thoughts at the mention of the long-necked girl. Yeah, she gave me my logins and stuff and everything. Uploading the submission was a piece of cake after all. Awesome. Thought that, though that does make you competition now. Both Liz and I have pieces in the running, too. Fuck! Read! I need to read more. I need to, read a book properly. I'm so fucking terrible. She told me she had submitted something. Yeah. I'm a bit concerned since I didn't have as much time at all to prepare anything, but hey, everyone's got a chance. You never know. Yeah, she was pretty cool about it too. That whole friend group is pretty welcoming. I think I'm pretty lucky. Lucky? Ben seems perplexed by my statement. He said something at lunch when Olivia vanished. I'm noticing for a silent paraplegic, she sure does have a lot of people upset. You got some hidden drama with her too? No, not really. Wait, two? Who? Iadican calls out to us, striding over to inspect. I take it you gentlemen are conversing about your assignment together? Of course, Mr. Iadican. We were just discussing where we'd take our picture, right, Ben? Well, that's good then. Good thing you guys weren't talking about something off topic, like gossip. That would be a pretty embarrassing use of your time right off the bat, I think. Especially considering you're currently the subject of some fairly humorous gossip, aren't you, Mr. Nato? I'm awashed in a wave of shame from his words. I look at Ben and I can see he feels it as well. If the air around someone needs clearing, clear it yourself. Iadican has a point. Maybe once this friendship is established, I can learn more about her. Alright, off you go now, and remember to get your assignment done by the end of this week. The room empties out slowly. Most of my peers still chattering and discussing their plans for the assignment. Before I can continue talking with Ben about our own project, the Stew co-president is already packed up and exiting the room. Guess we'll talk later then. Packing up my own notebook, I wave goodbye to my new favourite teacher and head off to my next class. Walking into history class for the first time, and it's about what I expect to look like. Pictures of historical figures, small relics from various regions, and cartography of the Earth during its stages of continental drift. Though I noticed that there's a distant lack of a teacher in the class. Must be finishing up their lunch, I assume. Well, better get a good seat now before they're all taken. Eeny, meeny, miny. This one. I settle myself into my chosen desk and pull out my history book and notebook, along with a pencil. As the classroom fills with more and more students, it becomes a blur of vibrant scales. A few minutes pass and I'm still wondering where the teacher is. The suddenness of the door slamming open stops any and all noise. It's quite enough to hear a pin drop. The figure walks into the room and... oh, sweet heaven, no. He stands there and stares down at everyone, menacingly. He's the history teacher too. Thanks for walking me my classroom, Solly. Of course, Miss Prockling. I can't remember how I did his voice. Oh, thank Raptor Jesus, he isn't our teacher. The Raptor woman adjusts her glasses as she scans around the room before looking down at the paperwork in her hands. Looks like we'll have some last arrivals, but let's get down to business. I know that I introduced myself yesterday, but for any of those who weren't here, her momentary glance at me makes me believe Solly told her about my absence. My name is Miss Prockling. TF2, TF2, TF2. And this is history class. In this course, we'll be learning about the history of our Primeville, yeah, Primeval, yeah, Primeville ancestors and their advancements through history. You can even say that it'll be like going back in time. Doesn't that sound exciting? Despite her admittedly forced enthusiasm, everyone in class responds with uninterested murmuring. Not sure why though. This all sounds exciting. She walks over to her desk and places down her pile of folders before flipping open her own special version of the history book. With a click of a button, she also turns on the projector to reveal a prepared slideshow for today's lecture. To learn about the extensive history of Saurians and their culture is something I've yearned for. If you can turn your books to page 36, we'll begin with the first chapter detailing the earliest interaction between Saurians and humanids. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I think I jinxed myself. Miss Prockling's history class is the polar opposite of Iadican's photography class. While her introduction to the class engaged me at first, things have slowed down into an unbearable slow crawl. My eyes scan over the introductory texts on the first chapter. Despite the tension between the two groups, human settlers to the new world would continue to make overtures of trade to the native velociraptor tribes. Pretty sure I've read this line 3 times now. I tear my eyes away from the page in the hopes of blinking the boredom away. I look up to see the teacher staring down at various papers on her desk with laser focus. I must have stared too long though, because I end up locking in a staring contest with Prockling. She raises an eyebrow at me. Okay then, write down notes of pages 3 through 7 about the discovery of the New World. Without even fully comprehending the words before me, I'm copying the page down to the letter in my notebook. Absent-mindedly, I begin to recall everything that's happened so far with my new classmates. Ben carries himself with a lot of refinement, and is easily my first pick as a photography partner. But that Mia girl, she doesn't seem to want to make friends. Of course, I could have figured that out from the cold look she gave me yesterday, not to mention that rude hand gesture. Damien's very friendly, even if he can be a bit too enthusiastic sometimes. And though my encounter with Liz was brief, I can tell she's dependable. My progress in making friends has been pretty good, all things considered. But then there's Olivia. So far she's still an enigma, and coupled with the apparent history she has with the others, it makes me all the more curious about her. Liz said it would be a bad idea to get invested, but in the end it's effectively gossip and hearsay. This had come as something of a shock to me, but... And what do we have here, Miss Halford? The sudden voice of Prockling snaps me out of my thoughts. I lean my head to see the teacher looking down at... Wait a minute, Olivia's here too? As luck would have it, I share not one, but 2 classes with Olivia. I must have been so jaded from trying to read this textbook that I didn't even notice the girl in the wheelchair. She sits in front row, diagonally in front of me. And I didn't think she's noticed this strange twist of fate herself. Only the 2nd day of the school year and you're already doodling in class again? She proceeds to pick up the piece of paper from Olivia's desk. She looks like she's been drawing on it, though I can't tell what they are from where I'm sitting. Listen, Olivia, I know history isn't the most exciting subject to learn, but could you at least pretend that you're taking notes? The only response I hear from Olivia is a heavy sigh before leaning her head back down. While the teacher returns to skulking around the room, Olivia hunches over a notebook. Although, I don't think those are notes she's taken. Nah, oh fuck. Nah. No one would do something like that with the totalitarian teacher patrolling the room. It's an attempt to get all of us to focus, but I'm fighting a losing battle to keep my eyelids from shutting. My jaw is clenched tight to suppress the loud yawn building inside. Fuck off! Even as Miss Prockling skulks right past me. Just before my drowsiness can overtake me, though, I notice minute movement in the corner of my eye. One of my classmates glances up at the teacher, whose eyes are rovering over the opposite side of the room and down to scribble something down. The paper is then folded into a neat little note, and I watch as the next person carefully unfolds the sheet and also scribbles on it before folding and passing it along again. Curiosity thoroughly piqued, I await anxiously in my seat for the paper to get to me. It's a dangerous game, passing the note along so Prockling doesn't see. If I'm participating, does this make me a slacker? The student to my side makes his move and toss to toss the note over. But Prockling starts turning around right then. He flinches and drops the hot potato on my desk in a flash. I nearly slam my own paper over the page to cover it from sight. Miss Prockling continues to lecture about how the raptors and humans eventually started to get along because they traded narcotic leaves, or something like that. And as you can see on the board here... Now, I lift my paper. Luckily there's plenty of space left. As for what everyone else has drawn, a not so solid attempt at a race car, rough sketches of some eyes, bunch of doodles, names in various stylized fonts that I could only describe as graffiti, and, of course, it's not high school if someone hasn't drawn a penis. Real. Miss Prockling with stink lines coming off of her. Yeesh, better not get caught with this. That being said, I'm drawing a blank. What should I draw? I don't exactly doodle every day. Drawing stuff for others is a nice gesture. Maybe I'll try to break the ice a bit. Although, I don't really know anything about her. Hey, can't hurt to try though, yeah? I can think of a few things to sketch out here. Let's see. I don't have anything to draw. I have to draw with a mouse. That fucking sucks. Okay. This is gonna be fucking dreadful. Fuck. Should have seen that prick's face when he saw that gat. Done. And done. I didn't have a lot of room to really work with, but as I surreptitiously admire my work, I find that I have a long way to go. It feels like I'm being mogged by the other students. Inko, you're definitely a mogger. Look at that. Alright, Olivia's sure to like this. Yeah. Miss Prockling is still turned around. Alright. Fuck! Voice! If I slip the paper over Olivia's shoulder, I won't have to get up and risk getting caught. And here we go. It's a bit tricky and I hesitate, but the paper meets its destination. She doesn't even look back. Just takes the paper eagerly. It's completely different from how she was acting earlier. Her tail even swaying side to side. Oh, is that wagging? Huh. Alright, now she's gonna see my sketch and possibly think I'm cool. Yeah, that'd be my reaction too. She's not turning around. Well, it's not much, so it could just I'll be taking that. Miss Prockling snatches the paper from Olivia's claws, and she holds her arms out. She takes a glance at the paper, and a small crack of a smile appears on her face, before going back to its stoic visage. So, is this how you view me, Miss Halford? Prockling holds the paper up for all to see. Everyone in the class does their best to avoid her persecuting gaze. I know that most of you were a part of this as well. Look, I'm not asking for much. Please do your assignments when you're in class. It's the least you can do. We were just passing a note one at a time. She wasn't even paying attention. Yeah, how come all of us are in trouble? I noticed Prockling look down at Olivia for a moment, before letting out a sigh of defeat. Look, since it's only the second day, I'll let this one slide, but I'm warning you now that I won't be so lenient the next time it happens. Otherwise, you'll end up like the last student who decided to be disruptive during class. What happened to him? Get a detention slip or something? Miss Prockling pulls up the window blinds and pushes the window screen open. She then takes out a walkie-talkie. Sally, yep, another hippie. Seat H4. Good job, soldier. Now, if we can, let's continue. We're on the second floor. I sink back in my seat and continue writing, mainly out of unadulterated fear of experiencing the same wrath from the teacher. Man, now I feel guilty for Olivia. I was the one to pass her the note after all. Maybe I shouldn't have tried. Well, I can always apologize after class. Miss Prockling places the note and continues her lecture for another half hour. With 10 minutes of class left, I see Prockling look at the clock above the door. I then notice Olivia grabbing her attention, and as if she knew what she's already gonna say to her, the teacher nods her head. Olivia grabs her backpack and shoves all of her things into it. I used to leave class early, always during biology for something that I won't discuss. In silence, she wheels herself to the door, opens it and rolls on out. The teacher must have noticed me watching her leave. Accommodations. Well, there goes my chance of saying sorry to her. Feeling defeated, I decide to focus on writing down my notes for the rest of the time left. Although, I do wonder. she must have noticed my doodle. Did she just ignore it then? Class comes and goes, and I head back home on the metro. Another day, another dollar. Though, this time I pass on the mini breakfast burritos. After how bad they messed me up during PE yesterday, I don't want my stomach to endure that torture again. Instead, I just got a few hash browns from a fast food joint by the metro. I idly scroll through my feed, as I usually do, while the metro jostles about in my to my destination. It's been a few days now, and the strange scent of extremely cheap detergent and alcohol have become an afterthought. Some of the vines are actually plastic, and the flowers are little air fresheners. It's not actually something I noticed, more so witnessed when a passenger tried eating one. Some of the vines are real though. For some reason they go untouched anyway, or untouched anyways. Maybe they're just not tasty. Vegetarians don't eat the grass on their lawns after all. Right? Huh. Anyways, the lights have gone out and someone just dropped a wrecking ball next to me. Must be Mr. Ferris. Good morning, Inko. Morning. Has work been going fine? It has. Slowly. But I'm very thorough. I hate the idea of a place of learning not being an ideal place to learn. And I appreciate our talks. Your perspective has really helped me understand the student body more. You're welcome. Hey, have you given any more thought to the fashion thing? I have, although I can't say I really get it. There's plenty to see everywhere if you just look around. Really? Like what? Well, like, look at the girl on the other end of the car there. It's rather revealing. I don't think that's really for me. I love my wife. I just mean as an example. Well, there's an event coming up. I could see about trying something new. What would you recommend? That's a good question. What would be good to use here? In my inner eye, I conceptualize the coolest possible Ferris. The fresh machine is going full throttle. First, sunglasses. His eyes may be a little too far apart for that. However, beanie. Moving on. Big guns, fresh jacket. There we go, the coolest possible Ferris. Mr. Nito. Sorry, just thinking. Why don't you start with... Jacket. Really now? Those all sound rather expensive. Yeah, they are. You know what? Try a gold chain necklace. A what? Yeah, just make sure it's approximate or appropriately sized so it doesn't look silly. I'm sure it would go a long way, and they're pretty cheap to get. Well, alright, I'll take your word for it. We sure talk about fashion a lot, though. Is that really all everything's about these days? Oh, of course not. What do you want to know about? What's YOLO mean? I've heard the term thrown around recently. That was like 5 years ago. Oh. Mr. Ferris and I talked more about contemporary urban slang until we arrived at our stop. Art. Mr. Iadican had just started talking about our first project for the class. As soon as he said the word, Olivia's hand shot up. Her grey eyes sparkled in excitement, and a smile threatened to crush the perpetual frown etched on her snout. The girl vibrates in her seat as she waves her arm in the air, trying to get the teacher's attention. Iadican's own smile was strained as he and Olivia engaged in a staring contest with one another. I could only marvel as the two argued with each other without a single word. Eventually, Iadican won by turning off the lights and turning on the cheap projector hanging from the ceiling, and playing a safety video about paint that felt far too graphic for a school setting. I don't think I'll be able to eat barbecue for a while. Thoroughly defeated, Olivia crosses her arms and pouts in her seat. And that is why we won't be using any of the more exotic materials for any projects, Miss Alfred. Ugh, maybe I should have just skipped breakfast entirely. I still don't see the problem. Once you've all had the proper safety handling course in the second semester, you'll be allowed to use oil-based paints. Until that time, however, all the assignments will require safer supplies. Now, since we've pivoted to this, might as well finish the full video. The grumpy Gator holds a hand to her throat, mumbling to herself as she grabs a metal flask and drinks from it. The entire display from her was mystifying, at odds with how Ben and Liz described Olivia. In fact, it kind of reminded me of me. I can understand why. After all, Iadican is letting Ben and I use some of his equipment in photography. That thrill of experimentation, of new possibilities, no doubt that it brings a creative sparkle to her eyes. Eyes that fill with pure malice as they glare daggers my way. Oh, was I staring? Oops. Before I could offer an apology, she already had her hands on the wheels. She rolls up to Iadican's desk. He leans forward intently. I can't make out anything that's said through the video, but going by the occasional glare back, it's hard not to imagine. Crap, I really didn't mean to offend. Iadican noticed some watching and motions for me to come forward. Slowly, I shift out of my seat and approach the desk. Alright, is something going on here? Iadican speaks in a hushed tone, just loud enough for me to hear over the makeshift manatee. Or, what? Matinee, not manatee. Olivia's telling me you're making goofy faces at her. No, I said he's been staring at me all through class. Huh. It's weird, like he's never seen someone like me. Can't you move him to a different seat? Oh, now hold on a sec there, Olivia. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding. Mr. Iadican. It's like she's a different person here. She fishes out a canteen of water and brings it to her mouth. I don't know. There's probably whiskey in that. You're given a lot of leeway when it comes to the seat assignment, but asking for something like this, I just want him to leave me alone. She sips again. What's that about? Well then, Inko, you tell us. What's on your mind? can't have disagreements between classmates this early in the year. I'm confused. I didn't know that there was any disagreement, between us. Well, sometimes it's the little things you do that you don't even think about that affects people the most. Anything like that come to mind? I shake my head. Olivia's glare doesn't diminish away from my field of view. I mean, I've been a bit curious about her since we sit next to each other, and I'm friends with some of her friends. We all sat together at lunch yesterday. Iadicon nods to himself thoughtfully. Sounds like he just wants to hang out, Olivia. Her face scrunches at the mere thought. Not really interested. He's distracting me from my classwork. I want to watch the video without being gawked at. Sorry, I didn't mean it. Does that resolve the issue for you, Olivia? No. I don't want some buddy in this class. She goes to take another sip, but ends up turning the canteen upside down. All out. Ugh. Olivia, you can go fill that up if you want. You won't be missing anything. The video's nothing you don't already know, I'm sure. Olivia eyes me suspiciously and slowly moves out the door towards the nearest water fountain. Iadicon sighs. Fucking voice. Alright. He leans back in his chair with his arms resting behind his head. Inko, I told you yesterday, if the air needs clearing, to do it yourself. Now she's in a mood, because you were staring at her like a weirdo. And here I thought you two would get along. She even gave you the sketch she made for you. Truthfully, I'm impressed, but here we are. What's going on, big guy? Again, sorry. It's been a pretty busy few days. Yeah, I've gotten into a cool friend group. We're all gonna sit together at lunch. Olivia's there too. She didn't say much, but I got her a soda. Don't know why she's so upset at me. It's nothing personal, Inko. It's not. She's reticent. Especially when it comes to change. If you're at her lunch period too, I can see why she'd be wary of you. If you don't mind me asking, Mr. Iadicon. Yes. Why is she so open with you? How do you mean? Just now she spoke more in that conversation than all the other times I've seen her yesterday. I saw the canteen, I figured it's something to do with her voice, but it's surprising. Her water bottle is the other way around. It's unfortunate, but she just really rarely talks at all. And I guess she just really trusts me. I've known her since she was a freshman. She seemed to gravitate towards art and how I taught it, and soon enough I took her under my wing. But she lives with Damien, right? He's at the lunch table and she still barely talks to him. Poor kid. Hope he's doing alright. He seems to be alright. But yeah, she's distant to everyone else. So much so, I keep hearing weird things about her. Iadicon leans forward in his chair, suddenly attentive. Is this about the you gossiping with Ben yesterday? A bit. He showed up to the table and said something about her being the same after she left. Probably some drama there, but I don't want to pry. He nods. But also, Liz told me some weird things too. He stops nodding. I know of her. Is something wrong? No, she just said I shouldn't get invested in being her friend. Everyone's being really weird about it. So I was just curious for myself. Guess that's why I was looking at her weird.